This past summer, I rented a cabin near the Arizona and New Mexico border. I thought it would be nice to get away for a while and away from all that was going on in 2021. After loading up my truck, I headed out and hopefully would arrive at the cabin before evening. It was just before dusk, and I had made good time on the road. I unloaded my truck and made a quick dinner before heading to bed. As I was lying down in the bed of the old wooden cabin, I noticed something behind the small dresser next to the bed. It looked like an old leather journal. I was way too tired to really care about it and figured I would check it out in the morning. As the sun peered in through the wooden shutters of the cabin, I finished my breakfast and remembered the journal I saw last night behind the dresser. So I made my way to the bedroom and carefully pulled back the dresser, and an old leather dusty journal fell by my feet. I was careful to retrieve the journal and blew off the thick layer of dust. It had revealed a date on the cover, 1972, with some faded writing under the date. My memories at the cabin, Thomas C. What have I found? And why was it just left here? After making a sandwich for lunch, I thought I'd sit down in the large green cushioned chair that faced the cabin door and see what was in this journal that had now consumed my imagination and curiosity. Anxiously, but carefully, I opened up the journal. The leather lace that held the seams together cracked, and more small dust particles bounced in the air around the journal's edge. I stopped for a moment and asked myself if I should continue down the path of possibly someone's deepest and darkest secrets, or perhaps a love for someone that ended well or badly. After a few minutes or so, I convinced myself to open it, and with a glass of red wine I had poured myself earlier, I began to read the first entry.
March 14th, 1972. I heard a large bang outside the cabin earlier this morning. It was around 3:45 a.m. I got out of bed and went outside. It was dark and I could only see what the flashlight lit. I didn't see anything, but I found a large claw-like mark on the wall of the cabin.
I closed the journal, and so many thoughts began to run through my mind. Who is this? Why did he feel the need to write this down in a journal? Why did he leave it behind the dresser? Or did he? I thought about putting down the journal for now and going for a walk outside near the cabin, perhaps getting things ready for lunch, but I just couldn't. I couldn't get up from the large green cushioned chair that faced the cabin door.
March 15th, 1972. I went to the store today to get some paint and wood putty so I could patch up a scratch or claw mark that I found yesterday morning. It's been on my mind all day, and I didn't sleep very well last night. My mind kept drifting into my imagination. I kept thinking of the worst that could have made those marks. Maybe it was just a bear that got brave in the middle of the night and clawed at the bugs that fly near the outside cabin light. Maybe that's what happened. Maybe. March 17th, 1972. Nothing happened last night or the day before. Maybe it was just a bear reaching for the bugs. I did find some large footprints in the dirt near the fence around the cabin. They didn't look like anything I've ever seen around here. They sure weren't bear prints. I drew a picture of them for reference later, in case the rain or wind destroys them, so I can have something to go by if I ever see them around here again. March 18th, 1972. I headed into the little town, about 10 miles from the cabin. I thought I would call my son and see if he had any ideas about what I was hearing and seeing around the cabin. He suggested that I make some kind of trap with the old camera he got me last year for Christmas. It came with a switch that could be used to take a picture if the switch was pulled by a string. He also suggested that I stop by the hunting store in town and grab myself a bear trap and set it up near the large footprints I found near the cabin. He said that I should add some meat and pour honey or syrup on it to lure the bear or whatever is out there. I didn't want to kill anything, but controlling pests and predators was something that was necessary when staying so far away from town and any kind of immediate help. March 19th, 1972. I was awoken by a large bang. It sounded like two frying pans being slammed into each other. Quickly, I realized that it must have been the bear trap going off. I had set it up near the footprints I found the other day, along with the camera and syrup-drenched meat. I grabbed my flashlight and hunting rifle and headed for the front door. Before I could open it, I heard a large moan, and then the sound of a metal object hitting the cabin near the front door. As I summoned up the courage to open the door, I could hear something heavy-footed running away. I flung open the door and readied myself for the worst, but it was as if nothing ever happened. The night air was quiet, and I could see nothing with the light from my flashlight. I ran to the camera and grabbed it, and as I turned to go back to the cabin, I heard the large moan again. This time, it seemed further away. I headed towards the front door and noticed the bear trap leaning against the side of the cabin. I got inside, locked the door, and sat all night in the large green cushion chair that faced the cabin door, my hunting rifle on my lap and flashlight in hand, just waiting for morning so I could head to town and get the film developed. Maybe it captured something. If my trap worked, maybe. April 1st, 1972. It has almost been 2 weeks since I dropped off the film to be developed in town. I haven't heard anything or seen any footprints. It's been very quiet around the cabin. Actually, too quiet from what I can remember in the past years. So many things were going through my mind and imagination as I drove to pick up my film. When the clerk at the camera shop gave me my pictures, he started laughing. He said, "Nice April Fool's Day joke there, buddy." I wasn't sure to what he was referring to. Before I could ask, he said, "That creature in one of the pictures scared me for a second as I was in the process of developing the film in the machine." He just kept laughing quietly to himself as he handed me my pictures. I didn't say anything back and just smiled and left the store a bit confused. I decided to wait until I was at the cabin to open the package with all the pictures in it.
Creature, what was the clerk talking about? I carefully closed the journal and noticed it was getting late and figured that I should get a few things done this afternoon. But first I decided to sit back down and close my eyes for a bit. The red wine made me feel a bit sleepy. I heard a loud bang on the cabin door. I quickly jumped out of the large green cushion chair that faced the cabin door and cautiously asked, "Who is it?" A soft voice said, "I have the groceries you ordered, ma'am." I had completely forgot about that and opened the door to a startled elderly gentleman. He was very nice, and I gave him a large tip, and he slowly walked away, as I brought the brown paper bag of groceries inside. Looking at the time, I noticed that I had fallen asleep all afternoon and hurried to put the groceries away. After pouring myself another glass of red wine, I sat down on the large green cushioned chair that faced the cabin door. I continued reading the journal. My curiosity was too much to wait until morning. I desperately wanted to know what was on the picture.
April 2nd, 1972. When I got back to the cabin yesterday, it was already getting dark, and I was too tired. I decided to look at the pictures in the morning and hurried inside and locked the door and turned on the outside light. I slept all night with my hunting rifle and flashlight on my lap, the clerk's remarks going through my mind as I fell asleep in the large green cushion chair that faced the cabin door. Now that it's morning and somehow the sunlight coming through the wooden windows of the cabin has now given me the courage to look at the pictures, I sat down and opened the package and started to shuffle through them. As I was going through them, it dawned on me, why so many pictures? I had only tied the string coming from the switch on the camera to the top of the bear trap, meaning it would have only taken one picture when the bear trap went off, not several. A bear couldn't have tripped the switch that many times. Only someone or something that noticed the string. It had to have seen it and pulled on it several times, just out of view of the camera lens. I shuffled through all the pictures until the last three. The top one was still all dark and just showed the top of the bear trap, like all the others did. I dropped it, and the second to last picture was the same. So I knew the last one had to have the creature on it that the clerk saw.
I closed the journal and took a large drink of my red wine. What was Thomas about to see on that last picture? A storm was arriving. I could hear the rain beginning to fall on the old wooden cabin. I poured myself some more red wine and made sure that the door was locked and flipped on the outside cabin light. I told myself that I was just being silly, but I swear I heard a moan after one of the loud thunder crashes from the storm. But I didn't have the courage to look out the old wooden window of the cabin. I just sat back down in the large green cushion chair that faced the cabin door and opened the journal.
Slowly lifting the second to last picture with my other hand, the final picture was revealed. This has to be some kind of joke. It must be something the clerk did at the camera store. There is no way I captured this on my makeshift camera and bear trap contraption. I dropped the picture and quickly grabbed my hunting rifle. I'm writing these last few things in the journal as they happen, just in case something happens to me. It's starting to rain, and the storm has made it very dark outside. I thought I heard something through the thunder, sounded like the moans from all those nights ago when the bear trap went off. I'm still sitting with my hunting rifle on my lap in the large green cushion chair that faces the cabin door. This might be it. Something is trying to open the door.
What? The journal just stops there. Nothing more was written, and just as I put it down, I hear a large moan off in the distance, and then another and another. It's just like Thomas described in his journal. As lightning strikes, there is a loud bang on the wall near the door of the cabin. Something is trying to open the door. As I sit with Thomas's journal on my lap, in the large green cushion chair that faced the cabin door,